All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the shop. I did not know I had a visitor that was such an audiophile here, Dee. Welcome into the workshop. Of course, DeeDub's Travels, you can check him out on YouTube, is sometimes traveling partner and YouTube collaborator with me. And Dee, when you came to the Rancho the first time, what did you think when you saw the Wall of Sound?
I was like breathtaking, really. It was a piece of Americana, a lot of pieces of Americana all over this huge wall that you probably won't see very often, or if at all, anywhere else. You know, it was very.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? When you see that, you also commented on the custom build of the wall rack.
Yep.
Because when it came to putting a Wall of Sound together, neither Missy Jen nor I could find a suitable, commercially available rack to display all of those units. Now we're here in the shop today because Dee, with no prompting of me one day, he just walks up to the Wall of Sound, and I think I might have said to him, what's your favorite unit up there? Mm-hmm. And he picked the very first unit that I ever restored on YouTube. And of course, I've been involved in radio restoration for years. But it's the Hampton, it's called the Hampton 80 here. And it was built in New York in about 1958 to 1960, when New York City was really the epicenter of build on radios. You had Marantz, you had Fisher, some of the greatest names that we have today. And I thought it was funny. It's a very rare unit, but it's not an expensive unit. It's a tuner. And you mentioned what particularly caught your eye was the eye in the middle.
Yes.
Before there were tuning meters, the little meters that you would adjust or center to get the maximum signal, they had what was called a tuning eye. It was typically green. And what would happen is when you tuned in a station, it would start to close the little part of the eye up, as you'll see here in a bit. And the more you close that eye so it was solid green, the more tuned in you were to the station. This particular Hampton unit we're going to be looking at today also has AFC, which is called automatic frequency control. And that would make sure that you actually, when you were turning the tuning dial, you wouldn't get the static between stations. You would go from station to clean station to clean station, instead of all the static in between. This also has one of the early multiplexers, which could take a stereo signal and put that out through the amplifier. I'm also using my little True Test amplifier, and you were pretty surprised with that little 1 watt. People were shocked what a 1 watt amplifier can do. So let's go take a look at the unit that Dee chose. And again, this is the very first restoration I did on YouTube in February of 2013, when I was just starting out. And there's a 3-part series on here you can actually check out the restoration. So let's see what we're running today. There is the 2 units that we are featuring. I've removed the wooden cabinet, and Dee, you'd mentioned you really like that wooden cabinet.
Yes.
And I had done a full restoration on that of the wood. We'll show you guys when we put it back together. But on the left-hand side, you can see the True Test 5 watt stereo amplifier here. Isn't that thing tiny?
It is.
With those 4 tubes. And I've done videos 1 watt versus Tchaikovsky. And I'll tell you, it almost blows the walls down in here. 1 watt. On the right is the Hampton FM80 tuner. And in the middle at the top, you can see the big old tuning eye. I was lucky. I can't even remember how I came across this unit, but it was really dirty and needed a lot of work to bring it back. And I think that's the reason I had bought it, was because I'd never heard of Hampton before. And this was made by Shell Electronics out of New York. So let's go ahead. Give me a second. I'm going to get it fired up. I've already got the amplifier going and warmed up. I'm going to go ahead and throw the power switch here. And we'll let this unit come to life. As usual, you have to let the vacuum tubes warm up here. So let's give that a minute.
The relationship to flowers.
And there we have started that up now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the light here, Dee, so we have a better idea of the brightness. And I'm down on the left-hand side of the tuning dial. And now I'm going to position this for a close-up so you can
through
see, as I move
using
up the
flowers
dial
as a
here,
way
you
to
will see the
cover up
tuning
and or
eye
get out of something.
close
Right.
up here. Let me turn that down
Using
just
flowers as a way to mask.
little bit.
If I did something to hurt someone,
A
I'll
little
bring
bit
the
lower
flowers. If I
here,
don't
and we'll
want
go
to
ahead
my
and
apartment, but I
position
have
this
people coming
closer.
over, I'll get through
Okay, there is the
how
tuning eye. You can see it's in a slightly open position there. And if I move that back and forth, you can see that open and close, and that when you tune it in, the more you close that eye, the more the signal is tuned in. So let's go ahead now. We're at the lower end of the dial. Let's go ahead and tune up the dial here. We have to be careful of copyrights, but let's hear what we get today. I'm going to turn this on to give us a little extra light here. You can still see that real well. You can see me tuning up. You can see that eye opening. Our local Mexican station. We're pulling that from about 50 miles. That's out of San Francisco. Classic music. I've got a little bit of a joy rig antenna on it. Turn up that volume a little bit. Hear how clean that is?
That's very clean.
It's really pulling that signal, and you can see that the tuning eye is totally closed.
Been gone too long. I can rap, I like skin. I'm going out downtown when I'm...
Intenté dejar de fumar por primera vez a los 23 años, pero siempre volví a las andadas.
Isn't that cool the way that opens and closes? That's what you really liked on that.
Yeah, that's the eyes really caught my eye.
So this was made in about 1958, so it's as old as the Rosie here. That sound good?
I get no kick from champagne.
Nope, he told them. Good deeds for free are just something we do.
That's the way we tuned in stuff in the old days.
There's a group formed in Fort Payne, Alabama back in 1970.
Casey
and they call
Kasem.
themselves Alabama. At number 22, moving up 5, Take Me Down.
Oh, I love the song.
Yeah,
It sounds so
I can't
great.
stay on it. Doesn't sound good? Doesn't that sound good?
I'm shocked it's a one water.
Yeah, the one water.
It's not
Well, I'll tell you what, just because it's old doesn't mean it's not good. Hope you enjoyed that little tuning eye demo. Before we get together, I forgot to mention, Dee, you said in your own family that Diane would want to buy new TVs, so would mess around with some of the old tube TVs. Was she able to get them going?
Oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, the tube TV or televisions were really expensive back then. The console TVs and everything else, and so they didn't want to go out and spend $500-600 for a brand new television. So what Diane would do was go down to the local Radio Shack, buy these little tubes, and taught us when we were children. You know, hey, if you have a television that goes out, this is how you want to repair it. But you know, obviously it changed real quick after that. So I already knew about some tubing and everything else. So it was real fascinating to see old things with tubes still.
Yeah, you can understand my fascination with it. There's that romance of the tube, the glow of the tubes, and things like that. So, as we close out today, I want to thank Dee for being part of the video, and thank you for picking out, unprompted by me, my first restoration. One of the most unusual pieces I have. We're going to put the case on and finish up with the final look today. Thanks, Dee. Here's the way the unit looks. It looks real handsome with a wooden case on it, and I had to sand that down. It had a lot of stains, but it turned out good, and it looks particularly nice because it's got that gold finish on the front, which is cool, and then of course the tuning eye is very distinctive. And there's a look at the little True Test 1 watt amp there. Let's go ahead and cut the light, and we'll finish it out here.